This is Totally T, and you are tuned in to what's new and what's going on in the world of pop culture, news, and music. Drake released more than one diss track, and I think everybody keeps talking about only one diss track. So I'm here to clarify. There are two. He put on Instagram a remix to Buried Alive, which is a song that Kendrick Lamar did on, I think it was the Take Care album. And the remix to Buried Alive is now on Instagram, and it is that fire. I think that it is better than the other song that he put out called The Heart Part 6 is the song that everybody's talking about. It sounds like a retirement record. It sounds like I'm tired. I don't want to play no more. I'm not interested anymore. It sounds like, well, the fight has been real, homie, but since you're taking jabs at me like I'm Diddy and talking about I'm a pedophile, talking about I am really, chasing underage girls, that I'm out. I'm really out on it. So the details and the deep dive, I think that I really want to start off with Buried Alive because I think that this is very slept on. I don't think that anybody really has reported on it because everybody was pretty much waiting on YouTube. So if you look at the actual lyrics, I'm actually going to pull up the lyrics. So the last line that he actually said was, it says, "Dreams come true, Crody. This is where you die, Crody." Basically, he's telling him, "I'm coming for you." And I don't know why he put out a retirement record right after that, but he did. So he said, "Looking in the mirror, still embarrassed," because that's how the original song started. Was he's embarrassed? So looking in the mirror, still embarrassed. Stop talking about how you gonna compare us, reacting like an infant whenever I am mentioned. It's like you need tension you need tension to get attention. You always said how you want to bury me alive. Jealousy disguised as your motherfucking pride. Took you on your first tour with us trying to catch a vibe. I was the headline. You standing on the side. Brought to you brought you and that other hoe along for the ride. First time people lined up for your ass. Now you saying two pussy boys getting out of line. You've been hating hard for a very long time. It feels like Twitter ghost writing your reply. Streets out here talking, at least a nigga tried. It's how you felt in 2011. Why we wasting time? Dreams come true, Crody. This is where you die. I think that's all he had to say. That's really all he had to say. It really, really did not need a backup. He did not need another song. He did not need to, release anything else. I think that he should have just did that one. It's a setup to, I thought something bigger and better was coming because, I believe Drake is going to win at the end. I don't know what this tired ass second song is about, Drake, but I do believe that you still got a bullet left in that gun and you need to fire and you need to go for the kill shot because it's getting tired, it's getting old, it's time to like move on. Oh, and also let me make sure that you guys can actually call in today because today I want to try to have a call-in show. So that is now I don't know if the banner is actually showing up. Let me look to make sure that the banner is actually showing up. Let me make sure. One second. Let me just make sure this banner is showing up. If I can actually maneuver, hold on. Okay. Well, you can hear me in the background because I just pulled it up on YouTube. So you can actually see the banner with the number that we're going to use for now. I don't know if I'm going to keep that number, but the number is 310-554 7559 310-554-7559. I'll also have an email address that I will also put up on the next show so that you guys can get in touch with me. I do still need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours in order to be monetized. Help me get monetized. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Help me out. Help me help you have a better day. Okay. So in his other song, this reply song, well, his second diss record, because Drake likes to put them out, back to back, no pun intended. So he did say, he had a few lines and he said, first of all, he said, I was a rat. So where's the proof of the trial then? Where's the paperwork or the cabinet is filed in? 1090 Jake would have taken all the walls down. Now, 1090 Jake is the one that airs out everybody's plea deal, everybody's charges, everybody's court cases. He's the one that tells you who's a snitch. He finds the paperwork, he finds your proper agreement, he finds everything. He is the one to air you out. It's this, it's white guy that's on YouTube. I haven't been watching 1090 Jake lately, but I mean, he definitely is interesting if you want to know who's doing what, where, how, and who, like as far as court cases go, and who's the gangster and who's not, and who's snitching and who's not, is 1090 Jake. So he said 1090 Jake would have had the paperwork, which is true because 1090 Jake airs everybody out and doesn't really play favorites. Um, so he said the streets would have had me hiding out in a small town. True, because if he was a snitch, he'd be hiding out in a small town. Um, and then if I scroll down, because I don't want to read, this is a long, long, depressing song to me. Um, and then he says basically that Kendrick Lamar and his girl aren't living together anymore. He said it's you haven't seen your kids in 6 months. The distance is wild. Basically, he's saying that they're at odds. He also continues to say that Kendrick is cheating. People have also said that Kendrick cheats with white women for him to be all foundationally Black American and all Black pride and Black this and that. He is someone that sleeps around, I guess, with white women. I know his girl is mixed, but at least she's mixed. Supposedly, there's pink toes in the bed. No offense to the pink toe. I'm not hating on you, pink toes. I'm just saying, like, if you want to call Drake white boy and you want to call Drake, every name in the book as far as not being 100% Black like you, then you should even be with somebody that's 100% Black, chocolate, dark skin, you know what I'm saying? At least brown skin, you know what I'm saying? At least at the minimum. And you should be cheating with chocolate women as well and not cheating with a pink toe. Okay? If you're cheating with the pink toe, I mean, you just can't keep talking all this whole Black pride, Black power. I mean, let the side piece win. Let her be Black too. Why the side piece can't win? Okay. So basically, it also says this Epstein angle was the shit that I expected. TikTok videos you collected and dissected instead of being on some disdirect shit. You rather fucking grab your pen and misdirect shit. Basically, he's saying, I don't mess with underage girls. If you don't know who Jeffrey Epstein is the pedophile of all pedophiles and was allegedly, I think it's allegedly, but I think it might have been proven in court that he was pimping out a 13-year-old girl. People were paying to sleep with a 13-year-old girl. Oh my God. So he was a billionaire, and basically his career of being a billionaire was pimping out a 13-year-old girl and other young girls. And he has Epstein Island and he has all this. It's just disgusting. It is just the worst thing I've ever heard of in my life is Jeffrey Epstein. He committed suicide in jail. Thank God he's out of here. So I would have rather him stayed in jail and wasted his entire existence in jail. I think death is the easy way out, but that's neither here nor there. So he said he doesn't want to be compared to Epstein. Obviously, that could be killing some endorsement deals, that could be killing his long term money. Because being compared to Epstein or even Diddy at this point is really, really, really bad. Um, I don't get the part that his mother came over today. And I was like, mother, mother, mother. I don't get that part. I don't really, I'm like, why are you I don't get it. And then he said, "Oh, wait a second. That's the record where you said that you were molested." I'm not a Kendrick Lamar fan, so I don't know what record he's talking about. But I guess that was for the Kendrick Lamar fans to figure it out. So I guess Kendrick was molested. Is that is that his claim? Is that his sob story? Not to say, not to victim shame, but Kendrick, you kind of overdid it with shooting shots at Drake. So we can kind of shoot shots at you at this point because you stepped in it and you don't need sympathy at this point because you are just locked and loaded like Rambo. You don't need nothing right now. You are AK'd out, the machine gunned out, and you doing what you got to do in a fighter jet. So I don't really have any sympathy for you at this point. So so he said these are traumas in your own confessions. This is when your father leaves you home alone with no protection, so neglected. So, does Kendrick have daddy issues? Does he? Does he have issues with being is that why he said Drake is daddy issues with Adonis? Is this the daddy issues? I don't understand. Is this the daddy issues? Because I mean, I see a lot of pictures with Drake and his child. Now, I'm not gonna be an ignorant motherfucker to say, "Oh, I need to have a baby with Drake because he's such a good baby daddy." I know I have friends where their baby daddy is a horrible baby daddy, but there's a lot of pictures on Instagram with the baby and the daddy. And the thing is, whenever the baby daddy gets the baby in their possession, they decide to take a photo for the gram or the internet or the publicist. They take so many photos in different outfits that you think that they're always with the kid when they could have just had a long weekend with 6 outfit changes, and you think that they are with the kid all the time. They don't see the kid for another 3 months, and they're rotating them pictures around, and you're like, oh, they got the baby every weekend because they got a good 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks worth of pictures. And it doesn't mean Drake's a good baby dad. Now he a rich baby daddy, but he probably ain't a great baby daddy. But is this why Kendrick has daddy issues? Because it looks like Drake is a good daddy and you mad because you don't have a good daddy? Because I don't have daddy issues. My dad is still in my life, so I don't have daddy issues. But it's like you took a shot at somebody's parenting skills as if you have issues. So for me to take a shot at your parenting skills, I gotta see an issue. Drake being with his kid all the time is not for me to dissect. Are you really with your kid? Or are you just a good photographer with your baby daddy day? Which isn't my it's not for me to dissect. It's not my baby daddy. I'm not trying to lock him down. So for me to figure it out is asinine. And I feel like Kendrick, you trying to be a good dad and a good husband, and you're trying to figure out your whole relationship. So is this why you're trying to figure out where Drake falls in line with being a dad and being a husband material for somebody? And he never claimed he wanted to be husband material to anybody. He never claimed to be amazing. He only claimed to be the best rapper. So, anywho, I digress. Hold on, let me get some water. Anywho. Okay, feel free to call in and join the discussion. I know it's the middle of the afternoon, but I'm sure there are plenty of you that don't have anything else going on but Drake and Kendrick Lamar. Call in 310-554-7559. Please call in and tell me who you think won this round. Let's not talk about every song. Let's talk about Drake dropped 2 songs. I don't know if Kendrick replied. I'm about to look it up while I'm on with you guys. But if you think Drake came with it, I think Buried Alive did it for me. I didn't need Drake's heart number 6 parts. I didn't need it, but Drake needed it. He light skinned. No offense to my light skinned people, but y'all be doing light bright, damn near white. Y'all be doing the most. Y'all be doing the most. Okay. So he's talking about Kendrick being molested, which I'm not sure if Kendrick was molested. I'm really not sure. Um, but this Epstein thing could be ruining his money. I'm scrolling through these lyrics right now, um, talking about that he might still be bumping R. Kelly. Um, and she said, album dropping soon. No wonder you're turning into a clout chaser instead of doing hard labor. Nigga, I'll see you when I see you like Fantasia and Whitney, who's Whitney? Who's Whitney? Anybody in the class? Anybody in the class? Back of the class. Back of the class. Who's Whitney? Kendrick Lamar's fiance of how many years? Almost a decade. It's been since 2015. He proposed in 2015, which I need to be messy and find a proposal video and circulate that shit. Because 2015 to now is an entire marriage and a divorce for most people. So it's 2024. So that's a 9 year girl. 9 years? 9 years and 2 kids, and you still ain't get the paperwork. Damn. So Drake said, and Whitney, you can hit me if you need a favor. And when I say I'll hit you back, it'll be safer, huh? I promise. Because supposedly Kendrick is beating up on his super tall wife. Or I'm going to call her a wife only because the 9 year engagement is asinine. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my life, to have a 9 year engagement is like a marriage. Like, girl, you are playing with fire. You are playing with, what if you break up? You never got married and you had a ring on for how long and 2 kids? If you don't get married, you don't get none of the benefits of being a wife. You're just a baby mama. So Whitney, baby mama Whitney, basically, if Kendrick's money's running low, which I have a feeling a lot of these rappers were running low on their funds. Like Future, he got 13, 11, 12 baby mamas allegedly. And I don't know if all the kids are confirmed to be his, so I'm gonna say allegedly. And then Metro Boomin, producers don't make what they used to make. So I could see how you want to take a hit at somebody. The weekend, I know and I get it. And I'm not trying to make enemies this early and online. But the weekend, you look like you had a coke habit. You sing like you've had a coke habit for a very long time, which gets very, very expensive. Um, who else came at Drake? It's a bunch of rappers that can't make no money. And I think Kendrick was winning, and then he stopped working. I haven't heard anything that you were doing since Super Bowl. And Dr. Dre's Super Bowl is a long. We had Dre, then Rihanna, then Usher. It's been a minute. That money dries up quick when you're spending it like a motherfucker. And people, I mean, LA has habits. LA not only has a fancy car habit, they got a fancy nose candy habit. So weed ain't cheap either. Marijuana ain't cheap when you buying it by the pound, because you need to have smoke for you and all your friends. And that Hennessy ain't cheap either when you got to pour it and pass it around. It ain't cheap if you're the only one in your clique that really got some money. So it seems like everybody that wasn't making any money kind of came together and said, let's just attack Drake. When Drake didn't get caught up with getting married and having 17 baby mamas and doing all these other things, he stayed on his music and focusing on his music, and supposedly only has one child, so we know that he uses a condom because he strapped it up. So he's sorry, Future, you lost in child support, because I don't even know how they breaking up this money with you at this point. And you ain't rapping enough to pay for all these children. So, and all these houses, all these different houses, when you have different baby mamas, it's different houses instead of keeping all in one house. And then Kendrick's trying so hard to prove to us that he's a good baby daddy, fiance, you know, that he's trying to prove it. And it seems to me that maybe Drake is saying that You are abusive to your tall ass woman because you really short. So you could have Napoleon syndrome. It happens where you're just evil to everybody because the world looks different from down there. I wouldn't know because I got some height on me. So I mean, I guess the world looks different from down there. And you might want to swing on her every once in a while and let her know what's up. And then you cheat on her with an occasional pink toe. So at this point, it's like your money, you weren't focused on that bag. You were doing other things. And then supposedly now you done allegedly moved from LA to Brooklyn and you live in Brooklyn and y'all don't even see each other anymore. See how this is turning into a fake ass engagement slash divorce, how this is already going downhill and she didn't even get everything she's supposed to get. You could have got alimony, you could have got so many things you're not going to get now. And he's supposedly in Brooklyn. So if he's in Brooklyn paying for two houses, one in Brooklyn and one in LA, and it's not just two houses, it's not like he can rent them out. He's living in these. She's living in one, he's living in one, and trying to maintain, you're like, let me take a swipe at Drake because this album needs to sell. I need to make some money because I've got bills to pay. Now, supposedly Drake is selling off all his real estate in the States, and people are saying allegedly it could be because the way Diddy's going down, Drake's got skeletons and he could be going down too. And what Diddy's going down for is shady, yes, but for everybody that can kind of see where I'm coming from and listen to this very, very closely where I'm coming from. Now, what Diddy's being accused of, unfortunately, is called hip hop lifestyle. Now, human trafficking, which they call prostitutes and strippers that come over, strippers that lead a strip club and come over and dance for you and might pop that pussy open. And they also have prostitutes that you just call from, I guess, a website allegedly called the Dancing Bear in Miami. And they come over and do what they need to do. That's called human trafficking. I guess it's human transactional moments. Okay. And then drugs being available um, whenever necessary, whenever you need it. Alcohol being available to the level of binge drinking is supposedly binge drinking, allegedly was the business plan of Ciroc was to get everybody to binge drink, which is genius. I mean, if I'm selling Oreo cookies, my business plan is to make you binge eat to obesity level. Why not? So I'm not condoning anything that Diddy did. What I'm saying is it's hip hop lifestyle. So if Drake is grabbing his favorite stripper out the club and he loves to shout out a stripper, especially the one that fell from a stripper pole in Miami, and he loves, of course, a porn star because he got a porn star pregnant. And I guess if you take her off set and have sex with her, I guess that's human trafficking because that's human transactional activities. And then drugs, which, of course, I mean, allegedly everybody in the business is smoking something, drinking something, popping something, snorting something, and it's just hip hop lifestyle. Okay, it's rock and roll. It started in rock and roll. This is rock and roll lifestyle. White people taught everybody how to get down and how to blow that money and have activities that have now turned into a homeland security operation investigation. So if Drake is aware, if he's aware, I guess, reading what's going on with Diddy. Now, it's one thing to know what's up, it's another thing to be completely aware, reading the lawsuit, knowing what's going on. And as I read the lawsuit, I said, well, this is just what they do. This is hip hop lifestyle. So I guess all this is now illegal. And once this federal lawsuit goes down, companies can't keep continuing to say it's just their lifestyle, cut them the check, let them have the money, and whatever they do with the money is whatever they want to do with the money, which isn't flying anymore. Saying, I'm just giving, I think they gave Diddy, Universal gave him $1.3 million for an album. And supposedly he bought females. Let's not curse. I'm gonna try not to curse. He bought he 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 bought less than respectable women and in the lawsuit, so I don't know if I have to say allegedly, it's in the lawsuit, less than respectable women, and he bought drugs, supplied a lot of alcohol and weapons, okay? And guns running around show business isn't abnormal. There's a lot of cash running around. When there's a lot of cash on the table, somebody might get creative, especially the strippers around, you're throwing money around. And they're not just throwing around a couple $1,000s. It could be 100 grand, 200 grand to keep the party going all weekend. And they don't need anybody to catch a plan. And for one of these guys to say, I'm just going to grab a bag, grab a stripper, put a gun to her head and walk out the door. So Diddy has his arsenal out, his guns, his security. He's got a couple guns on him to let you know you ain't robbing me for this jewelry that I got on, these millions of dollars I got on, and you ain't robbing me for these hundreds of thousands of dollars that's on the floor. And you ain't gonna grab one of these girls and walk out the door with a gun to her head talking about, bitch, you mine, or less than respectable woman, you mine. It's just the way it goes. Some of this is just hip hop lifestyle. So supposedly Drake is selling his houses because allegedly he's selling his real estate because he needs to get the heck out of Dodge. He needs to move on because he done indulged in the lifestyle, played in the lifestyle, and now the lifestyle has come to bite everybody and say, well, Homeland Security is on you too. And if Drake set up the Weeknd's manager for a shootout that happened after one of these records came out, and I think his name's Amir, and Amir's house got shot up. Drake knows the police, he knows the FBI, he knows who's dirty. He's got you already on payment, allegedly, already passed out a bag because nobody figured out who the three guys that are in masks, who they were, how they got away. And I think the house was in Bel Air. How do you get in and out of Bel Air? I think it was in Bel Air. I could be wrong. It's allegedly Bel Air because I'm not sure if it's Bel Air. How you get in and out of really ritzy LA is odd because it's not just police. There's usually government houses where they have Secret Service, and people hire private security and private security cars, which are pretty much lined up on the street. They're just everywhere. So, and there's also security cameras at every house, at every gate, pointing at the street. There's no way out. Once you get to that high end real estate, there's no way out. And it doesn't take much in LA to get to high end real estate. You can be a 3 bedroom, 2 car garage, just over $1 million. It's going to be $3, $4 million. So, supposedly this is, I think it's Drake. I think somebody, the Weeknd was talking that tough boy talk and talking, and he decided to handle business. Now Kendrick lives in Brooklyn, and maybe Drake doesn't have the police on payroll in Brooklyn, and right now Diddy's unavailable. If you needed that phone number to who got him off them shine charges, he's currently unavailable right now, so he can't help you out. But if there was a Brooklyn Connect or a New York City Connect, he'd be able to say, okay, well, handle this for me. And there wouldn't be a Kendrick Lamar because Drake being still of the beige community, I say light, bright, and damn near white, he he he's not to be fucked with. Now, I don't mean to cuss. He's not to be played with. Drake is a dangerous, dangerous man. Drake has handled people for less. And there's a lot of people in this business that can't see their right from left because Drake done let some firearms get in these streets. And he's not really to be played with. You make fun of Drake and you chase Drake around in a circle. And we see what happened to the Weeknd's family. Okay, so that's all I got to say about Drake. In other news, Usher's Lovers and Friends got canceled. There was high winds, so I guess scaffolding and all that was going to fall on your head. So Lovers and Friends got canceled, and I'm sure it's going to get rescheduled somehow. Usher's also going on tour this summer. Well, not this summer, I think September. So if you're going to hit up the Usher tour, feel free to cop your tickets. I don't know if there's any tickets left. It could be completely sold out. But Lovers and Friends was in Las Vegas, and there was after parties galore. I didn't hear of any good juicy tea from the after party crew for the after party circuit. I didn't know anybody in Vegas that was still around, considering Lovers and Friends got canceled, but I'm sure after parties was lit. I heard Usher went to an after party. It was lit. I think Rick Ross had an after party. I think it was lit. Rick Ross's plane slid off the runway. He blamed Drake for it. He, I guess, went through Texas before he went through to Vegas, and his plane slid off the runway. And he said it was Drake. Drake did it. His plane shot me out the sky. No, it's just your landing gear. You were talking that mess, that big boy talk, saying Drake got an old plane, which those old planes are more sturdy than these new ones. An old plane from the 70s will pass inspection every single time. While you got these new toys out, and these new toys will be like a brand new Tesla and drive you completely off the road. And you got driven right off the runway. And so that Rick Ross is another one. He's gonna keep talking and talking until he catches one of these weapons that be out here that Drake be playing with. All he needs is one friend in Miami that knows the feds, that knows the police, and Drake is gonna get busy. Now, if Rick Ross don't want to be like Biggie Smalls, I suggest you stay out of LA. And that's on some real, before you talk all that big correctional officer talk, you might want to watch how you talk about Drake. Drake isn't who he never, to me, looked like a cute and cuddly mother like type of guy. He's always been a little rough around the edges and wants to be rough around the edges, and wants, ever since Drake hit the gym. I'm not talking about light skin, skinny, fat Drake that was fluffy and skinny. Not that Drake. I'm talking about the Drake that hit the gym and really got his body together. That Drake right there. He doesn't play. He don't play. Okay, and then in old people news, Brian McKnight has disowned his children. And because he's disowned his children, his concert in Detroit that's scheduled for June 9th got canceled because somehow the word got out that he's saying his kids were made in sin, even though he was a married man. He's a part of some cult now, and he's losing his effort. He's losing his mind. He's not wrapped too tight no more. And he's just going off the rails. He's just remarried and having more babies and saying that his other kids ain't it, and his other kids were made in sin, and his other kids got to go, and one of his kids got cancer, and he's saying he don't need that child no more. And so his fans ain't fanning out no more, and they decided they are not going to the Brian McKnight show. They have canceled his show. I've never heard of a Brian McKnight show get canceled. Brian has been making money for so long that he thought he could really run his mouth. He thought that he could just run his mouth and start talking that mess to a cancer patient, and that a cancer patient wasn't going to say something to end his career. So for right now, in old people suicide watch news, watch out for Brian McKnight going off the rails. He should be on suicide watch because he's been saying crazy mess for about 2 years. And the last couple months, he's been really going crazy, saying a lot of things about his kids, saying a lot of things about, his daughters, and who's better and who's not that great. And, how, as if this new relationship is like, you're old. We know you have a past. Are you trying to present yourself as somebody that is like brand new? There was so many gay rumors about Brian McKnight back in the day. For you to even have had children and other marriages and other relationships is amazing to me, because Brian McKnight was somebody always hiding his life, that everybody thought he was gay because nobody ever saw him with a woman. So anyway, moving on. It's just moving on. So uh NBA Youngboy, the update on NBA Youngboy is he went to court, and he went to court and he got denied bail. Of course, he has 63 counts, including identity fraud, obtaining a prescription under false pretenses, forgery, possession of a dangerous weapon by a restricted person because he was on probation, engaging in patterns of unlawful activity, and possession of a controlled substance. So his new charges are additional possession of a firearm by a restricted person felony charge, 2 counts of fraudulently containing a prescription, 2 additional counts because he already 16 of those 63 counts was for prescription charges. So he got denied bail and he will be back in court May 9th. And I'm sure he'll be denied bail again because he is a raging drug addict and he needs help. So the only help you're going to get at this point, Mr. NBA Youngboy, is jail because nobody has 63 counts and thinks they're getting another chance. After you've evaded the police and a felony already in your past, I really don't think that you're getting another chance. Okay, so speaking of bumping your head. Fonnie Willis done bumped her head again, and Fonnie Willis is she there was a Senate hearing against Fonnie Willis on May 3rd, scrutinizing Fonnie Willis' use of funds. Now, if it's just another Senate hearing, then I don't want to know. But if it's a real Senate hearing about you can't use this money for your boyfriend, then I want to know that because from my understanding, you can't hire your side piece or your boyfriend. Well, she was a side piece. So to a married man, you can't hire your boyfriend and not disclose that that's your boyfriend, and especially not disclose and give him a $500,000. You can't do that. So it was there's been a misuse of at least $1 million in um, trial expenses for the trial against Donald Trump. So I don't know why she's still chasing Donald Trump. At this point, this might be her worst decision ever. You notice how some things are just bad luck. I think chasing Donald Trump just might be bad luck for her. I think she needs to like bow out. So the ongoing investigations by the Georgia Senate special committee to determine if laws or budgetary practices need to be amended for better oversight of the district attorney operation. So it's going to be all district attorneys in Georgia. So she done messed it up for everybody with the shuck and jive. Everybody that thought that they could just hire whoever they want to hire and still like mess around. So basically, wait, interstate threats to injure. Okay, so somebody had this guy named Mark Schultz. He threatened to kill Fonnie Willis and got 2 counts of transmitting interstate threats to injure Fonnie Willis, motivated by her role in prosecuting Donald Trump. And he was indicted by a grand jury, made his initial court appearance in San Diego on May 2nd, with a formal arraignment scheduled for June in Atlanta. Oh, being transported. Ooh, ain't nothing like being transported. Remember when Chris Brown was transported all over the United States just to go to court? I said, life for a prisoner ain't it. It's just not it. Okay, so last but not least is Jeezy, young Jeezy and Jeannie Mai. So they're basically saying now that Jeezy saying if I'm such a woman beater, because Jeannie Mai came out, of course, a non-black woman wants to say she was abused after the relationship is over because she needs him to go to jail or ruin his career. Because if he really hit you during the relationship, when you call the police during the relationship, if a man hit me, I'm calling the cops that same minute. I'm calling the cops. So freaking fast. I'm grabbing my phone and running in the bathroom, locking the door, and I'm calling the cops and I'm getting you locked up immediately. I'm not waiting for a divorce proceeding. I'm not waiting for a lawsuit to do it to say that I just need my money. I'm not doing it then. I'm doing it while you swung on me. Okay. I need the police to see this black eye. So I'm sorry. This is just a white girl move. Gina, you Asian, same difference. White girl move that they do it after the fact. They say that big scary black man hit me. Oh my God, ruined his life. And Jeezy, you fell for it. Jeezy, you are a dumb ass. Like, I'm sorry, like you just dumb. You dumb for this. Okay, so basically he's saying if I was such a woman beater, how come she wanted more children? And supposedly she went to the doctor. She started another round of IVF. She spent $20,000 so that she can have another baby after they already had a baby. And while she was saying that he's a woman beater and beating me up, and now she wants to have another baby with him. So I guess this is just it. And now she's got video of him walking around the house with what was an AK-47, is what she said. He said it's not a AK-47. I said, well, is it an AR-15? Like, that's a big old gun. Is it, what is that? What is Jeezy? Do you walk around with your locked and loaded, walking around with no shoes on? Jeezy, where you going? Where you going? Can you stop it with this crazy white woman you done married? This woman is gonna tear you apart. You are, if you can't wiggle your way out of this bad situation and just pay her out and stop playing with her, she's going to ruin you, because this is how black men get ruined. They marry a non-black woman, a non-African DNA, and all of a sudden you're a woman beater, you're the big scary black man, you're just the worst case scenario for everybody. And if you continue to play with Jeannie Mai, you are never, ever, ever going to see the light of day again. She's about to snatch every opportunity you've ever had, because now you're a woman beater, a drunk, you're out of control because you were drunk and you tipped over the golf cart. And I don't know many people that go tumbling down a golf cart or whatever, but you then went tumbling round and round, and now she was injured and said that you beat her up and those are the injuries, and then you said that was from a golf cart accident. Jeezy, go get you a black woman and stop playing. This is crazy. Leave her alone. File. Just finish the file and sign. Give her her money and move on. She wants her money and she's going to rip you apart until she gets it. Until she gets her money, she's going to rip you apart. You can keep her in court forever and try to drown her out and try to waste all her money by keeping her in court forever. But at this point, she's about to win, because you ain't about to have nothing left in a minute, because she's about to come for that real estate because you lied. You lied in that prenup. That prenup, you said you weren't as rich as you were, and she found out you had more money and more real estate, and now she's entitled to half your money. So I don't even know why you're arguing. Just give her half and start all over while you could still start all over, because you ain't gonna be able to start all over. Once a white woman got you, you ain't gonna be able to start all over, because she's trying to put you in jail. She's saying you beat her up. She wants, this isn't just for your money. This is, she's going to go for charges. Trust me. Give it time. Give it time. She's going to go for charges. She doesn't care that you're the father of her child. She was going to go for charges against you, because this is what happens. They call the cops, they start crying, and then you get arrested and you didn't even swing. She beat your ass. She swung on you. She went ape shit on you. And now you're the one that's in handcuffs, because she's the one that knows how to cry and be a Karen. So we're going to see what happened. That's the end of this show for today. That's the end of Totally Tea. Please like, share, subscribe. Help me get my help me get my subscribers up. I really, really appreciate it. And I'll be back with another video.